Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market and Deli. Tonight's special guest that we have with us, and is always an honor, we have Ariane Chenard, and she is an Ayurveda health counselor at Puget Sound Family Medicine, and she has a plethora of information to share with us tonight on New Year, better self, following the seasons with Ayurveda. So, thank you so much, Ariane, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you all. Hopefully there are a few more join us, but I'm happy to be here. And today I want to talk about detox and cleanse and New Year's resolution and everything that comes with a new beginning. Sometimes we want to make a special effort for our health, and how a cleanse can be so powerful in doing that. I'm gonna share my screen just a little bit so you can see here. So that's me, and that's how you can reach me at Puget Sound Family Health or through my website, Elements of Ayurveda. I'm a health counselor, and I provide one-on-one consultations, but I also have programs. One lasts a whole year, and it's like just to get in sync with the season and learn Ayurveda. Another, because I specialize in digestive issues, is to balance the digestion for those that have IBS. And I'm now offering a 3-day cleanse as well. Okay. I'm gonna stop that for now. Just because I want to be here. I have a few slides, but I'll share them as we go. So first of all, why would we want to do a cleanse? Like, feel free to put in the chat your reason why you are interested in doing a cleanse. How have you heard about that? To me, cleanse and detox and special dieting had never made much sense. Like, you hear that, like it seems to go from one thing to the other, like you need to eat only this and only that, and fasting. And it only started to make sense when I learned about Ayurveda and why we would want to do a cleanse and a detox, and what we're detoxing exactly. And Ayurveda has this notion of ama, which is toxins. Basically, it's a word that they use to describe toxins. And a cleanse is really like getting rid of that. What is ama? What are toxins exactly? According to Ayurveda, is things that are not properly digested or not properly eliminated by our body. We have this amazing machine, our body, that does everything it needs to do without us having to do anything, really. We're just eating, and our body processes everything. However, sometimes what we eat or our digestion is not optimal, and our body will kind of not process things as it should, and there's going to be ama created. Or if in the food we eat, there's some additives or pesticides or things like that. And also if our digestive fire is just not strong enough. If we have the just poor digestion, like we will digest things, and it's gonna be just like the image I can give is like a cold burning fire versus a hot burning fire, and the soot that it leaves behind, like, and just dust and dirty things that leaves behind, versus a hot, powerful fire that burns clear. That can be our digestion. And that the digestive fire in Ayurveda is called the Agni. And if our acne is not very powerful, that's gonna create ama. Also, if we don't eat appropriate food, there's many reasons, but one being that. And there's digestive fire, the acne, but not only in our digestive tract. There's like 40 acnes throughout our body. And at the cellular level, like it's just this idea of transformation and heat and things like that. So we get the poor coal burning fire that produce toxins, or we have toxins in our environment, undigested emotion, unprocessed emotion. All this causes toxins. And our body usually eliminate always through feces, urine, and sweat through the skin. But sometimes it just does not cope up. And our main or detox organ are the kidneys and the liver, the skin, etc. But sometimes it just does not go, it's not strong enough. And this toxins starts accumulating in the body in places of weakness mostly. So it can vary depending on the person. And symptoms of ama, of toxicity, can be very varied. Like sometimes it can be as weird as having the root of your hair hurting, or acne, or skin rash, or just feeling off, digestive issues, body odor, all these things, or arthritis, like cracking joints and things like that, can be all signs of ama. So cleansing and detoxing, that's when it's useful. And Ayurveda has these protocols for cleansing that are very detailed and very thorough. You might have heard the word panchakarma. Pancha means 5 and karma means procedures. And it's 5 procedures for cleansing. So there are, and if you do a panchakarma in India, the real deal, it's gonna last like a month, maybe more, with preparation and post cleanse. In the US, you'll have a week, maybe with some preparation and post cleanse. But the idea is really to gather the toxins in your body, get them to move back to the digestive tract and eliminate them. And the 3-day cleanse, this short cleanse, is this idea too, but really a smaller level, but still very useful. So in the panchakarma, you would have things like sweating, vomiting, oleation, massage, enemas, and things like, and even bloodletting that are not allowed in the US. But and I'm not qualified to administer panchakarma, but so you know, like if you want to go like beyond just a little cleanse, this goes like you have to be followed by a practitioner. You can have this Ayurvedic cleanse. But Ayurveda also, very simply, for every one, they recommend small cleanses like 3 or 5 days. And especially at the change of the seasons, because it's a way to just reset your digestion. When I'm talking about ama, like this toxin that accumulates, this is just this gooey stuff that ends up in your body that you want to get rid of. And the way to get rid of it and to stop producing it is to have a strong agni, a strong digestive fire. Here, I'm gonna share again my slides. Okay, so Ayurveda works with the qualities of nature, like opposite balance. So you have like these ideas that everything has some quality, and you can balance it with the opposite quality. If you feel too light, you're scattered, anxious, you will benefit from adding some heaviness, grounding in your life. If you run hot and you have all sorts of inflammatory issues, you'll benefit from cool things and cool foods, etc. And Agni versus Ama, what we see is that they are the total opposite. Here, the qualities for the acne is light, sharp, hot, dry, subtle, like it's like a fire, like a cool, clean, a hot, clean fire. And ama, this gunk that gets into your system, is the total opposite. Like it's heavy, it's dull, cold. So you want to burn it, and to do that, you want a stronger acne. And that's when the cleanse is so interesting, because that's what the idea is. The cleanse in Ayurveda, it's never extreme. Ayurveda is never goes to the extremes. It's not a total fast or a juice fast or something that very drastically different than what a person does. It is, however, different than your normal diet. The idea is to eat for a few days very simple foods and just a mono diet. So the same food basically for 3 days or 5 days, in this case, 3 days, for just the simple food, easy to digest, and avoid snacking as much as possible, because just doing this will give a break to your digestive system and will just help rekindle your acne. And the classic meal for the cleanse is called khichdi, which is rice and mung beans or lentils or it's rice and beans, basically, like kind of you can make your own recipe with a few vegetables and spices. And this is very simple, and you digest it easily, and it has everything, really, once you put the spices and a little splash of lime juice, salt, etc. It has everything to live on. And the idea is not to go hungry. You shouldn't be. You should be satiated. You don't want to eat too much, but you should feel fine and satiated, although maybe, like, because we're used to eating whenever we want, or the very varied diet, it still can be a challenge. And it should be to some extent, because it's a way to really say we're doing something for our health. And so that's the cleanse. That's the idea behind the cleanse, just giving a break to your digestive system, and by eating very simple food. You also want to help kindle the acne. So you use spices and herbal teas that are just that have this goal. So ginger tea or CCFT, which is cumin, coriander, and fennel seeds tea. Or you could use chamomile as well, like things that are good for digestion, that will improve the acne and will help digest. So the cleanse itself, it's only 3 days, 5 days. The one I offer is 3 days. Like with the following instruction and etc. But the total of the cleanse, you might say it's almost like 3 weeks, because you don't want to just jump in like that, because first of all, you might not be ready. And also, since it has benefits, and if you take it seriously, like, you can gain even more benefits by putting a little bit more energy into it. So there's in Ayurveda, there's always a preparation phase. Then you recuperate. Like, even for exercise, like, the idea is always to stay in balance. So if you're doing exercise, you will, for example, prepare by stretching, then you do exercise, and then you relax and you rehydrate. Like, there's these phases. For a cleanse, it's no different. So there's the preparation phase, the active phase, and then the post cleanse. What do you want, like, that can help get you even better, like, on the longer term? And the very first thing you should ask yourself when doing a cleanse is, why am I doing a cleanse? Now that I do Ayurveda, I know why I'm doing cleanses, and it's really like it's a way for me to reground myself, to give some focus and rethink about my health, what I want to just recenter myself for my health, but also for possibly career-wise, just asking questions, because during the cleanse, you don't have to forego every social activities or everything, but you want to take this time to really get yourself the self-care you need, and you don't want to overbook yourself or like you should just be gentle, no extreme exercises and things like that. So for me, doing a cleanse is a way to reassess what is my situation now, what are my goals, how I could make things happen, etc. Like it's kind of a time to focus, to get some journaling done, to meditate, like focus on my spiritual practice. And like all this takes a little bit of preparation. So I usually set an intention, like, okay, if I decide that I'm doing this 3-day cleanse, I'm actually starting it this Saturday. That's my goal. So I have this, and then what are my intentions? I can journal that. Now, why I set the time that works for me. Over a weekend is better because you have more time for yourself, but you can see how your schedule works. And then what do I need? What are the supplies do I need? What are supplies that I need? Well, you have to decide, what will I be eating? Is it just khichdi? Or if you feel like 3 days a meal, 3 meals a day of khichdi is too much, you can easily have breakfast with oatmeal. Like usually that's what we suggest. Like in India, traditionally, I think it wasn't that hard to just follow a very simple diet like that. In our day and age, we're so used to so varied diet. You might want some variety still. So oatmeal in the morning with spices and ghee, and then herbal teas throughout the day, and 2 meals of khichdi for lunch and dinner is something very simple, easy to do, and that will get you well fed. Like you could live technically on this simple diet, but at some point maybe you'd get bored. But the khichdi, you can add a few vegetables. With spices, you can vary the taste. You'd want some spices that fit your constitution. And this becomes a little more involved into Ayurveda. If you have Vata constitution and Vata imbalance versus Pitta and Pitta imbalance. Excuse me. I'll show you here. So here, the doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, excuse me, are the vital energies. And every one of us, if you are familiar with Ayurveda, we have different constitution. I am more of a Pitta Kapha person, but when I started Ayurveda, I was convinced that I was Vata, because Vata is the dosha that is the first one to get out of balance, because it's movement, it's light, everything. The modern world is so Vata aggravating. You might have many symptoms of Vata aggravation. Pitta has to do with fire, everything that is heated. And Kapha is structure, lubrication. And all these doshas have, again, like it's the gunas, the qualities of nature, and specific to them. And depending if you are more one or the other, your diet should adapt, and your diet during the cleanse should also be adapted. So a Vata person would need a little bit more salt, for example, or ghee in their khichdi, versus a Kapha person. You want to reduce this heaviness, this too much heavy stuff or rich food. So the kichari should be a little bit more spicy, because the spiciness will balance kapha, but less oils or ghee, or and less salt, for example, because salt is attracts water, and kapha is already has water. For pitta, maybe not so many spices, and etc. But overall, the diet for cleanse should be very simple. And I'm talking about khichdi, but really the idea is a simple meal, and keep it like 3 times a day, or at least 2 times a day, the same meal at regular hours. But it could be like a chicken and rice soup, if that's what feels like better for you, or lentil and vegetables too. That could work as well. The idea is like a convalescence meal, a little bit, like if you were to come from the hospital, like you've been sick, you want something light, you don't want something hard to digest. That's the idea behind. So you would do, okay, I have my intention, I know when I'm gonna do my cleanse, and now let's gather what I need. So the food that I'll be needed, the teas that I'll be needed. Well, do you want to drink ginger tea or CCF tea? And I want to mention that these teas are quite important. They are an important part of this this cleanse, because they do help, first of all, getting fluids that will help clear, like through urine, etc. But also like ginger tea or CCF tea, they kindle the agni, and they help digestion. So that's important. In the preparation phase, but this would be make more sense if you are being in contact with a practitioner, like if you have someone that guides you. But there's also something about oleation. So in the week going towards the cleanse, you might start taking a few teaspoons of ghee during the day, before in the morning and at night, for example, just to get your. But again, it's not good for everyone. Kapha person that should not be doing that, but for Vata, especially, and a Pitta to some extent, just to get your body lubricated, and then it's easier to get the toxins out. During the week, going to your cleanse, you also want to eliminate certain categories of food. In your cleanse, you'll have this very limited diet, and going forward, like in the days before, you might want to start by eliminating sugar, and then dairy, and then coffee, maybe if it's the last thing you hold on to, and then alcohol and things like that. Because for the 3 days, all these are not permitted. And then, like, after you've done the cleanse, you don't want, like, oh yeah, congratulations, I'm done with my cleanse, now I'm gonna have this big feast of a steak. That might not be the best thing and the easiest thing to digest. You also want, as much as you've worked yourself towards this cleanse, you want to slowly get back towards what you're used to eat. And this is not an elimination diet by any means. It's too short time, but it still can give you an idea of how food makes you feel. For example, dairy. If I decide today, okay, I'm doing this cleanse in a week, And I start by eliminating dairy, and the next day I eliminate sugar, and the next day something else. When you're done with your cleanse, you want to do the same reverse. So you start by reintroducing one food for a day or two, another food day or two, and then you work yourself up to your normal diet. And you can, doing that, even if it's just a few days that you haven't had a certain food, you can, by paying attention, you can figure out how some of these foods make you feel. You might not know, sorry, you might not know that dairy, for example, are giving you bloating, or sugar. We know we should not eat sugar, but what exactly does it do to your body? That's by eliminating and slowly reintroducing, you have a better understanding, or coffee or alcohol or things like that. So there's this phase in the preparation phase, active cleanse, and then reintroducing food. And always keep in mind, you want to keep in mind the intention you have. And the cleanse is a great idea. It's a great time to take out a bad habit that you have, that you know you want to get rid of, and introduce a new habit into your routine. For the time of the cleanse, these 3 days of your cleanse, you should have like this, how a day will go, like for me, my biggest thing these days is my phone. And I want to, 2024, I want to limit my use of my phone. So I'm using this cleanse as a way to change my habits around my phone. So I've already set up like different alarms, or I use a watch not to have to look at my phone and things like that. And for these 3 days of cleanse, I'm not gonna use, or very minimally, my phone. And that's the start for this new me. Hopefully it's gonna last, but that's my intention. I also want to reintroduce, because I used to do it, but I've not been so good lately, is to start doing breathing exercises, pranayama again. So that's what I want to reintroduce, and I'm setting up a time during my the day to do pranayama exercises, like just deep breathing morning and night. So I'm trying to get rid of one bad habit, try to introduce a new good habit. And since like 3 days is not enough, like for me, I'm taking like these 3 weeks, the week before the active cleanse and the week after. So it's more like 2.5 weeks, but up to 3 weeks to really, I consider that's the length of the cleanse. But you could really just focus on the 3 days. And this cleanse, like it's you start knowing, like, it's the idea is to know how to do a cleanse and what you need, etc. But you could decide, like, once a month I'm doing 1 day of mono dieting, or once a week, and it's just you'll have the benefits, because no matter what you do, if for 1 day per month, or 3 days per season, you give a break to your digestive system, it's gonna just start stronger. And as the acne is stronger, ama is you're gonna produce less ama, and you're gonna start eliminating, because acne in the digestive system is one acne among 40, But if you strengthen one, you usually strengthen them all. And doing that, you'll feel like more energy, more vitality, more focus. I'm sorry, I'm and that's really the idea behind doing an Ayurvedic cleanse. It does not need to be so very complicated. We're not talking about panchakarma, but you want to, it's not like, oh, I'll do 3 days. Like, even if you just do the 3 days of mono diet, you'll have benefits. That's the great thing about that. You'll get some benefits, and the reason is improving digestion. But you can have so much more if you put it as part of your health plan, and if you set an intention, and if you really take that as a process to get something new started or to improve on your health resolutions and things like that. So the big picture, that's the big picture for this cleanse. It's not very complex. And the idea is digestion. Like Ayurveda, I could talk about different subjects in Ayurveda, but it always comes back to digestion. Ayurveda believes that most diseases come from poor digestion, and one reason being that poor digestion means that you are producing ama, and then ama gets you all sorts of symptoms, and when it starts moving around in your system, in your body, you'll start having even more symptoms, and that's the beginning of diseases. So I'm sorry, my voice is about to to quit on me. I don't know if anyone has specific questions about that, or if I can answer a question about, I should get myself a spoonful of honey. About specific questions for different constitution or the cleanse itself. So for you wonderful people, I'm gonna give you my website, and if you type this coupon code, you get 50% off. And so it's for $44 instead of $88, and you get like all the information, how to prepare for the cleanse, what you need, and information about Ayurveda and your constitution with a dosha quiz, and also 15 minutes call if you have questions or if you want a little bit more guidance. It's included. I'm sorry. That was my speech about the cleanse and how it can. Yeah, Ayurvedic cleanse are generally recommended at the change of season, especially from winter to spring, and at the end of the summer going into fall. The reason being that change is aggravating, and at the end of winter, when we've eaten all this heavy food during winter, because that's what our body needed, all our channels and our blood and our lymph is kind of clogged a little bit. It's just thicker. And a cleanse at that time can be really good. And a cleanse can be adapted. Like if I'm providing like individualized recommendation, I would suggest possibly like bitter herbs or bitter ghee or different things. So in this in the spring is one great time to do a cleanse, or right now, like to set an intention for the year, and at the end of summer, beginning of fall as well, because fall is a really hard season for the body and for many reasons, but it's also a very good time to just reset your digestion, reground yourself, focus on the what are your intention, your health path, and things like that. And nothing nothing is extreme in Ayurveda. You shouldn't be hungry. If you are a little bit more hungry than usual, it's advised to eat fruits, no snacking in between meals, but you can eat still good portions. And yeah, that's the 3-day cleanse.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I put those for those of you watching on Facebook Live, your website and then that coupon code so they can soak up those savings.
Yeah.
That's very generous offering. Thank you.
Yeah, the coupon is good until the end of the month. Like it's not forever, but sorry,
Perfect. So there you go, folks, watching with us here on Facebook Live. Only till the end of the month, you can get that savings to have the new year for a new you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, do any of you would like to share with us some resolutions, some New Year's resolution that you have taken, and is this a habit of you to take some resolution
I
exercise?
I am also doing the same with my phone, and I tend to take on too many things at once because I'll get so excited about something. I'm like, yeah, and then later I'm like, oh no, I am too stressed out now. So I'm doing better about watching my boundaries for activities and creative projects and things.
Nice. Okay. For those who are curious about what is included in this cleanse, let me see. Um, I'll share my screen and I'll show you the overview, the program overview. Do you see it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So here, so just setting the intention, then you want to know a little bit more about your constitution. That's in Ayurveda, if anyone is familiar, like you want to know, am I more Vata or Pitta or Kapha or a mix of both? So you have the dosha quiz and for understanding, and how to get ready, Ayurvedic cooking, how to make khichdi, the classic meal, but I'm giving links to other suggestions. Detox teas during the cleanse, and reintroducing food. And then I'm still working on this one, but rasayana, which is rejuvenation, and that's the part with the um, afterward. Like once you're cleansed, you don't want to always be in a state of cleansing. You want to be nourishing to your body, so that's when you're bringing back nutrients to set your body, like you've gone through this cleanse, now you're reintroducing nourishing food. You might have these herbal supplements or things like that. So yeah.
What a lovely program.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
And,
and
and
this program is self-paced, and it's not totally individualized, but you still get a 15 minutes call with me. If once you've done your once you know more about your constitution, if you want to discuss what kind of food or what kind of teas, or again, like in the preparatory phase, would you benefits from introducing more bitters in your diet or different things, or for the rasayana phase as well, the rejuvenation phase. So that's the goal, the detox. Now I know why we do detox.
exactly. And then also your year-long program too has that support and you know, if someone has a question, they can tune in and um with that year-long program.
Yeah,
Jan said, thanks, very interesting presentation.
thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Well, thank you everyone that was watching with us on Facebook Live. You take good care and definitely tune in for more wonderful classes. And we are going to have our Ariane here for April and a couple other classes for later this year. So stay tuned and stay happy and healthy.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.